Welcome back to Pastor Nick's Book Club, where I recommend a book for you to read and share my thoughts on why it might be worth your time. Let's begin this chapter. This month, I am recommending you read Day 7 for Work, Rest, or Play by Joel Bierman. Some books I read not because the cover of the book, the title, or the subject material is particularly interesting to me, but because the author is. And this is one of those books. A few months ago, I recommended a book on vocation, and that topic of vocation was about the extent of the thought I had put into the understanding of the theology of work, rest, and play, and that only covers the part about work. But since Dr. Bierman was formational for who I am as a theologian, I thought I would pick up his book to see what he has to say on the topic. And boy, was it worth my time, and I think yours as well. The first thing that Bierman says in his introduction is, "This book is about your life." He then goes on to qualify the statement and clarify what he means. And his ultimate goal of his book is nothing short of trying to answer the question, what is the meaning of life? Or perhaps a bit more narrowly, what did God create us for? This is what he spends the book answering, giving us a new perspective on how we should view our lives and what we do, and how we should live in relationship with one another and with God. So what will you find when you open this book? Bierman begins with a discussion of the Sabbath. How do our small catechism with explanation and the Bible talk about the Sabbath, and what God's intent for the Sabbath is in our lives? What Bierman suggests is that we should have a perspective of the Sabbath that goes beyond what the Pharisees believes, and even what Luther says in the catechisms. Bierman makes very clear that he doesn't reject the catechism, but that his interest is in looking at more than what they say. You'll have to read the book to see his explanation. With this expanded perspective on Sabbath, Bierman then addresses the topics of work and leisure, giving renewed definitions in light of our new perspective on Sabbath itself. This is followed by Bierman describing the receptive life as the answer of our purpose. And then, finally, he concludes his book by looking at a couple of topics in light of the understanding of the receptive life, namely play and sleep. If you've ever wondered why God made us the way he did, if you've wondered about your purpose in life, I suggest you pick up Day 7 and see what it says. This book will barely begin to answer that question, but Bierman kindly offers many reading suggestions to dive further into particular topics in his footnotes. I invite you to read this book and see what it has to say about why God has made you.